The story of Olushola Medupi is a study in paradox. Founder and CEO of Enish Restaurant, we call him the Jonah of entrepreneurs. Before the age of 10, he mastered the art of cooking, exhibiting a talent that placed him in line with prodigies. But here comes the shocking part. Shola never wanted a part in the kitchen. He proved his business capacity in other fields, running multiple ventures and buying his first car at 16. But fate unfolded in unexpected ways. From trying to establish as an investment banker in the UK to totally losing everything he had fought for, Shola learned $1 million lesson. But it was at that breaking point, at the sole core of desperation, that the boy took a step and an empire was born. Follow us into the heart-gripping journey of Olushola Medupi and how he went from the lowest point of his life to creating a culinary wonder that shook the United Kingdom. Olushola Medupi's story is one you cannot separate from food. In fact, you could say he was born into it. His mother was in the family restaurant, cooking when she went into labor and had to be rushed to the hospital to give birth to him. That was how his journey began. Growing up in Ilorin, Kwara State, he was surrounded by a business that had grown to become a family culture. His grandparents and his mother all owned local food outlets. At just 5 years old, after school, he would be taken straight to the family restaurant, which had become his second home. He often recalls how he was forced to stay there all day.
My great-grandparent, grandparent, mom, they've always been in restaurant business. We literally just grew up in the restaurant. My mom had a restaurant then, Ilorin precisely. Okay. And she was well known. She was #1 then. So.
But in reality, it was the best training ground he could have had. By 7, he could already cook simple meals, and by 8, he had mastered the art of making pounded yam. This early and extensive exposure to the restaurant industry not only sharpened his cooking skills, but also earned him a profound understanding of running one himself. But Olushola wasn't only about the culinary arts. His passion for making money was just as strong. In 1991, when his father traveled to India for 6 months and forgot to leave his checkbook at home, Medupi's mother struggled to make ends meet. To help his mother, Olushola started a wholesale orange business. From there, he never looked back.
Then I went to the market, spoke to a few women in the market, brought them home because then I used to enjoy climbing trees. I called them, I plucked a lot of oranges and everything. Apparently, I did that for the whole month. So it was later that she was telling my dad, oh, do you realize we actually survived with that orange money? Me, I didn't even know that. Me, I was just having fun.
By 14, he had turned himself into a mini business tycoon, renting out his BMX bicycle, running a waste collection service, selling phones, repairing them, and even running a small supermarket right next to his mother's restaurant. He made real money as he served clients from big institutions like NEPA, CBN, and UBA. To put into perspective, Olushola bought his first car at the age of 16, and by 19, he had bought another one.
I actually made my first million through dog business. I think I was around 16 years old. So even before uni, I had 2 cars. Really? Yeah, before uni, yeah.
His final business in Nigeria was a car wash, which he sold after only 2 months for 3 times the price of his investment.
I did a car wash for 300,000. I sold it for 2 million. That's just within 3 months.
That money became the seed for his education in the United Kingdom. The number of ventures that Olushola undertook from a young age revealed his powerful and genius business instinct. According to him, growing up in Nigeria taught him how to survive with very little and pushed him to his best. Hence, his later academic pursuit of a master's degree in investment banking was rather a formalization of an already well-developed mindset. In 2005, Olushola Medupi packed his bags and left Nigeria for the United Kingdom. He enrolled in the University of East London to pursue a master's degree in investment banking and securities, believing his future lay in finance. However, the transition was far from smooth. Despite his academic qualifications, Olushola struggled to secure a major job in his field of study. And after all was said and done, he found himself back in the kitchen, working as a kitchen porter. But very soon, Medupi resigned and started looking everywhere else for inspiration.
When I came to UK, the only part-time job I got was in the kitchen. And I was like, what is going on in my life? Like, how can I work in the restaurant all my life in Nigeria and still come to UK and still end up in the kitchen? So as of 2009, I left London. I went to Cardiff.
The restaurant industry, as I would say, was a very hard industry to be in. So he made a firm vow never to work in a kitchen again. Tired, frustrated, and emotionally drained, Olushola picked up a security job in Cardiff. It was surprising how fast life could turn against him. Was it because of a wrong choice? The young man thought to himself. Yet, in that moment of uncertainty came clarity. Just as Olushola was considering moving back to Nigeria, an inspiration hit him. While calculating his strengths and weaknesses, he quickly came to the realization that his strongest skills were in food and business. The very thing he had been running from was, in fact, his most viable option. This moment of surrender was not a defeat, but a final awakening to his true potential. The one thing that defined Olushola's entrepreneurial journey going forward was his unique background. He was not just another restaurateur with a passion for cooking. He was a trained investment banker who could analyze a business with an unsentimental mind. He knew that to succeed in an industry where 6 out of 10 restaurants fail in their very first year, he couldn't just copy what he saw back home in Nigeria. He had to rebuild the model, reshape it, and create something exceptional for a global market. The story of Enish fast food chain began in October 2013 in Lewisham, South London. The name itself was a special blend of 2 names, Eniola and Shola.
So I said, okay, we'll put Shen because a guy needs to come first now. Actually, I know animals to come first and everything. They were just this argument back and forth. I'm like, at the end of the day, okay, it's all about the money anyway. So who could put your name? So her name is Eddie, my name is Shola. So E-N-I-S-H.
Oh wow,
yeah,
that's beautiful.
Husband and wife. It was a business born not just out of ambition, but out of resolve by 2 determined couples. However, the start was anything but easy. The first year was a monumental struggle, and Olushola almost sold the business. He recalls how a buyer had offered £300,000 for the business, but at the last minute dropped the offer to half the price. With no other option left but to continue running the business, which they were yet unsure would succeed, Olushola and his wife pushed through. From the very beginning, the central point of Olushola's vision was to serve authentic African food in a 5-star environment. At that time, African fine dining was not the global trend, but Olushola refused to see a disadvantage. He saw a breachable gap upon which he could build the foundation of his restaurant. In Enish, every dish had to carry the full flavor of home. The decor, the music, the service. Everything was designed to be unapologetically African. For Nigerians in diaspora, Enish wasn't just a restaurant. It was a luxurious space that felt like home. Following its challenging but successful first year, Enish embarked on a rapid expansion, first across London and then on a global scale. After the flagship branch in Lewisham in 2013, a second outlet opened in Finchley Road in 2016. This affluent, well-known area of London, known for its diverse and high-end population, was strategically chosen to explore and establish their brand. But the results of this experiment were full of surprises. According to Olushola, he was shocked to discover with time that 60% of their customers at Finchley Road turned out to be non-Nigerians. Despite serving traditional Nigerian dishes like jollof rice, egusi soup, and isiewu, most of the people who loved the menu were cultural outsiders. Then, the realization came to Olushola. It wasn't just the food, it was the Afrobeat music, the artworks on the wall, and the curated cultural experience that people want to be part of. As money rolled in from existing outlets, Olushola and his wife reinvested in the business, hoping to create several replicas of their little success. In 2019, new locations were established in Croydon and Ilford, followed by Brixton in 2020. Within a short while, Enish could boast 10 branches in London, including prime spots in Oxford Street and Knightsbridge. Now, here is a part of the story people often miss. The first company, Enish Restaurant and Bar Limited, was set up in 2012. However, it went into liquidation and both Olushola and Eniola stepped down as directors in 2019. To some, it may appear like brand failure, but in truth, it was only strategy. Enish evolved by undergoing a legal and operational reorganization to continue its expansion. Several branches began operating under different names, and a new company director named Toluwalopemi Komolafe took over. While it is yet unclear what happened during this period, the Medupi couple remained very much in control of their brand. The most important thing was that Enish had outgrown being just one company. It became a brand that could operate through different entities, adapting as circumstances demanded. But things were only just getting interesting. After establishing a national footprint across the United Kingdom, beyond London and to the northern part of the country, Olushola began to feel an end to his ambitions. One day, he visited another African restaurant in Dubai, and after looking around, he felt an idea subtly come to him. What was the possibility of creating something even better? The entrepreneur wondered. Just 2 months later, in February 2020, Enish opened its first outlet on the famous Sheikh Zayed Road in Dubai. If there was anything about Olushola, he was very action-oriented. He devoted his time to executing his ideas rather than fantasizing about them. But the timing for the Dubai outlet proved to be a massive risk, as weeks later, the COVID pandemic was declared. However, this period came to be a turning point for the brand, one that would ultimately prove to be a catalyst for growth. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Olushola and the Enish team quickly set up a home delivery model. He made sure his staff were looked after and that Nigerian food was readily accessible to customers through their online takeaway service. While there was not much many businesses could do at this period, Olushola turned the Dubai lockdown into a lock-in era, establishing the Enish brand across the city. After surviving the pandemic, Olushola decided to go global, capitalizing on the success of the first Dubai branch. Medupi invested the sum of $3 million to open a second location at the famous Palms Jumeirah. This new spot was not easy to secure, as it overlooked the world's largest water fountain in the luxurious neighborhood. But Olushola's 5-star dining vision could not be hindered.
The one in Palm is just right in front of the world's largest water fountain. It's a 5-star. Even Dubai tourism, they come there every day, they shoot a lot of videos and everything on there.
Soon, the brand moved to the United States, planting an outlet in Houston, Texas. And while some reports suggest a Canadian presence, it appears to be a future ambition rather than an active location for the time being. Growing as not just a restaurant but a cultural ambassador, Enish has secured partnerships with global companies like the BBC, Google, and Sky. It has become a magnet for celebrities like Hugh Jackman, Anthony Joshua, DJ Copy, Davido, and Akon, who have all walked through its doors.
I'm about to eat my delicious pounded yam and egusi from Enish.
With every dish, Olushola introduced a gateway to African identity for people around the world. But Enish did not just stop at food. The days of Olushola's serial entrepreneurship were bound to return. The tycoon diversified into ancillary services, such as the Enish Yacht Experience and Enish Car Rentals in Dubai. This move showed that Olushola's vision went beyond just growing a restaurant chain. He was creating a full-fledged luxury brand. Even though Olushola has acknowledged that he one day intends to expand into Nigeria, a move he believes is inevitable. The entrepreneur has expressed concerns over the readiness of the continent.
I wish that wasn't there. Like, even like, what I'm not in Nigeria, it's part of fear. I'm still coming back to Africa because Africa is a big market as well.
According to him, he uses data to inform his decisions, tracking inventory and analyzing customer trends to avoid guesswork. However, he has also admitted to his gut feeling and the energy of a place when choosing new locations. This fusion of data-driven insights and creative intuition allows the brand to grow with purpose without losing its soul. The story of Olushola Medupi is nothing short of remarkable. From a man who once resisted his family business to building Enish into a global empire. His journey proves what vision and resilience can achieve. He didn't just create restaurants. He built a platform that redefined African cuisine, pushing it into the realm of luxury, prestige, and global recognition. Enish today stands as more than a business. It is a cultural movement, a living testament to the strength of Nigerian entrepreneurship, and a bold reminder that our culture, when celebrated unapologetically, has universal appeal.